Several years ago, I got very interested in education because I was going around to schools and I was talking about a book I'd written entitled Soldiers, Slaves. And as I interfaced with the teachers and the students, it dawned on me that we had a real crisis, that students didn't read anymore and they didn't really write anymore. Or if they did, they didn't do it very well or they didn't do it very often. So I said, I've got to address the individual. And I've somehow got to inspire the student to take responsibility for his or her own education.
I've been in public higher education my entire career, and one thing that concerns me is that students today are not nearly as curious as I'd like them to be. And they're satisfied with just doing what it takes to get by.
There's a lot of blaming in education. I think students who don't love school and maybe aren't too successful in school tend to look at the environment they're in and think, well, there's nothing I can do about this. I don't like it, but I can't change it.
You're probably, or at least one of you, saying to yourself, well, Mr. Parkinson, you come to our school and you've got this message of literacy, but you don't know anything about me. You don't know that my daddy's in jail or my mom's got to work. And I know a lot more about you than you think I do. Let me share an experience I had and maybe you'll understand where I'm coming from.
Mr. Parkinson gave his presentation on Autodidactic to a group of young men being mentored by the 100 Black men of Columbus, Mississippi. And those kids were enthralled by the presentation. You could have heard a pin drop. He makes people laugh, he laughs at himself, and he keeps them interested. But in the end, what they know is being able to read and being focused on teaching yourself every day is the most important thing for your growth in life.
Here's my report card. Spelling, D. Reading, D.
Even my best students who are very capable and competent and good readers and have good vocabulary, they still saw it as an opportunity to grow and get better. But my students who didn't read so much thought, wow, this is a really good reason that I need to start taking care of my own learning.
When he came, our teacher checked us out of class, and as we entered into the tech atrium, he walked up to me and shook my hand, and I was impressed with that.
I thought he was a great speaker. I really enjoyed him. He just speaks with like such power, and I liked how he related so many like personal stories, especially when he talked about when he was in high school and the stuff that he went through. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I definitely walked away from that with a lot of valuable lessons. I took a lot of things he said, especially his story of when he was living in a Hispanic country and writing down all the vocab words he didn't know. Like I thought of it every day, like, oh, maybe I should write down words I don't know. And I started actually typing words into my phone.
When I read, I usually read fantasy and fiction a lot. But after reading the book, I went and got the biography of Malcolm X, and I started to read that.
When I was your age, when I was sitting in an assembly like this, like you are, I knew that the kid sitting next to me here and here and behind me, that was my competition. That's not your challenge. You know where your competition is? It's sitting over in Beijing.
His message is very relevant to today's world and today's students. I hope he never gets tired of this, because I could use him every year.
Going through high school, not reading Grapes of Wrath and all that, and just kind of figuring out how to answer the test, and didn't bother me. But being in Argentina and not being able to buy a sandwich because I couldn't speak, didn't have the right word, that got to me. So I made a decision on the spot.
One year we invited Jim to come and speak to our incoming freshman class of 1,500 students. And we filled our basketball arena. And Jim is a successful attorney. He's an accomplished author, prolific writer. But he's a real person, we don't have to call him doctor. He does it in a way that says, this is what I did, this is what you can do. Here's a copy of my book, and it can change your life.